everyone! Today we're streaming Night in the Forest in Roblox because I honestly really like this game. It's atmospheric, fun, and a little mysterious. So get comfy. It's going to be a good time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and drop a like. It's super important for me, and it helps us grow our hamster empire together. And of course, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. What you think about the game, how you like the vibe, and whether you want to see more streams like this. Alright, so here I am, chewing gum and thinking. Like, if every single human on the planet started chewing gum at the exact same moment, would that be the loudest crunch in history? Or would it just be a quiet, worldwide chomp fest? And what's actually more important anyway, the flavor, or the way the bubble pops? Maybe the bubble itself is a metaphor for life. You keep blowing and blowing, thinking it'll go on forever. And then pop, it's gone, and you're back to chewing, like nothing happened. I also realized recently that a fridge is basically a time machine because you put food in there, forget about it. And then a month later you open the door and go, oh, hey there, ancient relic of the past. And don't even get me started on socks. Why do they always disappear one at a time instead of in pairs? There must be a secret hideout somewhere where all the single socks live together, throwing wild parties and inviting random mittens over just to confuse us. And seriously, if clouds had flavors, what would they taste like? I'm guessing cotton candy for the fluffy ones. But maybe thunderclouds would taste like lemon soda with a bit of static electricity. Imagine if every rainstorm had a different flavor. Chocolate rain, strawberry rain, spicy pepper rain, just to keep life interesting. And here's a weird thought. We drink water, right? But then the water becomes part of us, which basically makes us 70% walking cups. And I swear flies have some sort of forbidden object radar, because they only land on stuff they're not supposed to. Cats too. They know something we don't. They sit there, staring at the empty corner of a room like there's a hidden portal, and you're just standing there with your sandwich, starting to question the meaning of existence. And what's with the way time moves differently when you're bored versus when you're having fun? Like, 2 minutes brushing your teeth feels like a week, but 3 hours playing Roblox feels like 30 seconds. And don't even get me started on how chairs are basically just beds that decided not to commit to the full nap experience, or how the moon is basically a giant nightlight for the planet, except it's free and nobody has to pay the electric bill. And while we're here, toothbrushes. They spend their whole lives cleaning your mouth, but who cleans them? I feel like that's a hygiene paradox nobody talks about. Also, why is it that when you drop a piece of food, the more expensive it is, the faster it falls? Like, you drop a free cracker and it floats down like a feather, but drop your last slice of pizza and it's like it's been training for the Olympics in speed diving. And the cheese always lands cheese side down, every single time. Anyway, while all this nonsense is spinning in my head, I realize something important. We're not just random strangers here. We're building the hamster empire. Yes, the glorious and noble mission to reach 1,000 subscribers. Every like is a brick in our virtual castle, every sub is another floor, and every comment is a glowing golden block that makes the whole thing shine. So right now, while I'm rambling about cloud flavors and time-traveling fridges, you can hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and comment the wildest rain flavor you can think of. Because this is just the warm-up, just the beginning. We're gonna have even more nonsense, even more bizarre ideas, and even more hamster wisdom that might change your life. Or at the very least, make your day a little bit funnier. And honestly, both of those are worth it. So stick around, because this stream isn't slowing down anytime soon. You know how gum never actually fills you up, but your brain still thinks you're eating something. It's like the simulation of food. Maybe gum is proof we live in a simulation. Fake food in a fake reality, just here to distract us while the game loads in the background. And speaking of backgrounds, you ever notice that when you stare at a wall long enough, it stops looking like a wall and starts looking like something else? Like the texture is just looping. And you can almost see the invisible repeat pattern the designers used. Or maybe that's just me being sleep deprived. But then again, what is sleep? It's basically a free daily time travel. You close your eyes, skip 6 to 8 hours, and boom, new level unlocked. Unless you wake up at 3 a.m. and start thinking about that one embarrassing thing you did in 4th grade. Then it's just torture. And here's the thing, toothbrushes. I brought this up earlier, but I can't stop thinking about it. They clean you, but who cleans them? It's like, at some point, are we just brushing our teeth with a toothbrush full of old toothbrush dirt? That's like washing your hands with muddy water. And that leads me to think about soap. Soap is always so clean, right? But how if it's constantly washing off dirt? Where does the dirt go? Is there a soap heaven? Or maybe all the dirt just teleports into a pocket dimension called the dust realm. And that's why sometimes you lose random small objects. They get sucked in there too. And why is it that ice cubes stick together in the freezer like they're best friends? But the moment you drop them into a drink, they scatter like they never met before. Total betrayal. Speaking of betrayal, my cat. He sits in the window, all calm, like a wise master. And then at 3 a.m., he decides the hallway is a racetrack. And while I'm laying there in bed, I start thinking, what if cats are secretly running the world? They just act lazy, so we underestimate them. Dogs, on the other hand, are like that one friend who's always down for whatever, no matter what it is. Wanna go outside? Yes. Wanna sit here? Why, yes. Wanna join a rock band and tour the world? Yes. Now, picture this. If clouds had flavors, and I mean really had flavors, the weather forecast would be so much cooler. Today we're expecting light blueberry drizzle in the morning, turning into a heavy caramel downpour by evening with a small chance of cinnamon snow. And imagine if wind had a taste too, probably like mint gum, but the strong gusts would be spicy jalapeno just to mess with us. And what about the moon? The moon is basically the Earth's night light. But what if it's actually a giant cookie? And we're all just living inside the world's biggest snack ad. I mean, we've already got cheese as a theory. Why not cookies? Also, this is random, but do you ever think about how chairs are basically lazy ladders? Like, a ladder lets you go places. But a chair's like, nah, let's just chill halfway. To standing. And beds are just horizontal trampolines that gave up on bouncing. And time, oh man, time is the sneakiest thing ever. You sit in class for 5 minutes and it feels like a week. But when you're gaming, 5 hours pass in what feels like 20 seconds. I think time is actually just a troll. It bends itself depending on whether you're having fun or not. And another thing, why is it that food you make yourself never tastes as good as the exact same food made by someone else? Like, I can make a sandwich, but if someone else makes it for me, it's instantly 10 times better. Maybe it's the mystery ingredient called not having to do it yourself. And speaking of mystery elevators, you're telling me we trust a metal box hanging on a cable to take us up 20 floors. But I can't trust my phone charger to last more than 3 months. But listen, all of these thoughts, all of this weird brain soup I'm pouring out right now, it's all part of something bigger. We're not just random people hanging out on the internet. No, we are building the Hamster Empire. The glorious goal, 1,000 subscribers. Each like you give is a brick in our virtual castle. Each sub is another floor added to the tower. And every comment? That's the glowing golden statue in the courtyard that tells future generations. Yeah, these were the legends. So right now, while I'm talking about flavored clouds and time-traveling fridges, you can smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and write in the comments what you think the moon tastes like. Because trust me, we're just getting started. The nonsense will get weirder. The hamster wisdom will get deeper. And you, yes you, will be part of the story we're creating together. All right, so where were we? Oh yeah, we were somewhere between the moon being a cookie and the idea that ice cubes have trust issues. But now my brain just took a detour and started wondering if mirrors are supposed to just reflect. What's in front of them? Why do they somehow make you look different depending on the mirror? Like, bathroom mirror, you're fine. Store mirror, you suddenly look like you haven't slept in 10 years. And those weird mirrors in changing rooms, they're not mirrors. They're psychological warfare. And then I think, if we didn't have mirrors at all, would we even know what we looked like? Maybe we'd all just think we're way cooler than we actually are. Which honestly might make life better. And speaking of life being better, imagine if traffic lights weren't just red, yellow, green. What if each color meant something fun? Like purple light means everyone has to dance for 10 seconds before driving. Or rainbow light means free ice cream at the next corner. It would totally make traffic worth it. Oh, and while we're messing with everyday stuff, why not make escalators random? Sometimes they go up, sometimes down, and you have to guess. Sure, it would cause chaos, but chaos is fun. As long as I'm watching from a safe distance with popcorn. You know what else is chaos? The fridge at 3 a.m. you open it, staring at the glowing shelves like it's an art exhibit, knowing full well you're not even hungry. It's not about eating, it's about the vibe. And then you stand there thinking, I should eat something healthy, but somehow you end up with cold pizza, which is fine because pizza is basically just bread wearing a topping costume. And don't tell me pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, because if fruit can be in cake, it can be on pizza. The rules are made up anyway. And here's another thought. Why do we say sleep like a baby when babies wake up every 2 hours screaming? If that's the standard, then yeah, I've definitely slept like a baby on days before school. Also, why are spoons so underrated? Everyone talks about forks and knives, but spoons are like the Swiss Army knife of utensils. They can scoop, they can stir, and in a pinch, they can even be used as a cat toy. And forks? They're just aggressive combs for food. Now, you ever drop your phone face down and instantly feel your soul leave your body for a second? That moment between picking it up and flipping it over is pure suspense. Honestly, they should make phone cases that play dramatic music whenever that happens. And while we're on the topic of suspense, vending machines. They're supposed to be convenient, but the second your snack gets stuck, it's like the machine is mocking you. You paid, you waited, and now you're shaking it like some desperate raccoon. And can we talk about clouds again? Because I'm still not over the idea of them having flavors. Maybe storm clouds taste like sour gummies. Fog could be like unsalted popcorn. And snow should taste like vanilla slushy. Except the yellow kind, which should never be eaten. And speaking of weird food rules, why do people get so weird about breakfast food? Like, you can have pancakes for dinner, but the moment you try spaghetti at 7 a.m., suddenly it's not socially acceptable. Who made these rules? And can we fire them? Now listen, while I'm sitting here chewing gum, thinking about cosmic breakfast laws and emotional vending machines, I'm also thinking about us. This isn't just me talking into the void. This is the Hamster Empire. We're on a sacred mission to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's the magic number. That's when the gates open, the fireworks start, and the Hamster Kingdom officially becomes a nation. Every like is a stone in the royal palace. Every sub is a new citizen joining our weird little society. And every comment, that's the law of the land. So if you're here right now, don't just watch. Join, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and in the comments tell me your flavor idea for clouds. Or the weirdest thing you've ever eaten for breakfast. Because the more of us there are, the stranger and funnier this place gets. And trust me, we're only at chapter 1 of the weirdness. Things are going to escalate. All right, so picture this. You're walking down the street, minding your own business, and suddenly you see a random glove just lying there on the sidewalk. Not a pair, just one. And it makes you wonder, what happened to the other glove? Was there some kind of dramatic glove breakup? Did one of them get promoted to sock world and leave the other behind? Or maybe gloves have this secret network where they just disappear to start a new life somewhere warm. Same with umbrellas. You buy one, use it twice, and then one day it's just gone. Like, did it walk away? Was it recruited by some secret rain protection agency? And speaking of disappearing, where do all the pens go? I swear I've bought thousands of pens in my life, and yet when I actually need one, there's none. They just vanish into the void. Meanwhile, the one pen you don't like, the one that barely writes, somehow lives forever. It's like the immortal jellyfish of stationery and paper clips. Those things just multiply when you're not looking. One day you have none. The next day your desk drawer is basically a paperclip farm. You know what else is weird? How sometimes you can't remember what you had for breakfast, but you can perfectly remember the lyrics to a random commercial you saw once when you were 7. Like, why does my brain store the buy one get one free jingle from 2008? But forget where I put my keys 5 minutes ago. And honestly, maybe keys are alive too, because they always hide right before you're about to leave. They wait until you're panicking, then magically reappear in the most obvious spot. And coins. I'm convinced coins are just the adult version of Lego bricks. They exist purely to be stepped on at the worst possible moment. And they multiply in the couch like rabbits. One day you lift a cushion, and suddenly you found enough spare change to buy lunch. Which is great, except 90% of it is in a currency you can't use anymore. Now let's talk about cereal. Cereal is basically dessert that society decided it's okay to eat in the morning. I mean, think about it. You've got sugar, you've got crunch, sometimes marshmallows. It's basically a party in a bowl. But here's the thing. Why does cereal taste better at night? Same cereal. All right, that's it for today's stream of Night in the Forest in Roblox. I had a blast, and I hope you did too. If you enjoyed hanging out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a like. It really helps me out and keeps our hamster empire growing. And don't forget to drop a comment with your thoughts about the game, your favorite moments from the stream, or any ideas for what we should play next. See you in the next one!